Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's lecture on international settlement. Today, we are going to focus on a topic that is becoming increasingly important in cross-border trade, ESG letters of credit. First, let's look at a set of comparative cases. ESG disputes over Laos rubber were resolved through negotiation, whereas Vietnamese palm oil transactions were terminated outright due to ESG issues. What accounts for the key differences between these two outcomes? Within the RCEP region, the number of ESG-related letter of credit disputes has been rising year by year, and the resolution outcomes are increasingly diverse. This makes it essential for us to thoroughly understand the operating mechanisms of ESG letters of credit. Today, we will uncover the mystery of ESG letters of credit and explore why they are often called the green pass for cross-border settlements. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to 1. Grasp the core components and operating rules of ESG letters of credit, and understand how UCP 600 clauses interact with ESG-specific provisions. 2. Develop reasonable solutions based on the 3 principles of cross-border ESG quantifiable clauses: dual-track data consistency and clearly defined remediation windows, and anticipate potential ESG compliance risks. 3. Build awareness of ESG compliance risk prevention in cross-border trade and develop a systematic approach to dispute resolution. What is an ESG letter of credit? Let's learn about it together. An ESG letter of credit is a new type of financial instrument that integrates environmental E, social S, and governance G standards into international trade settlements. Its core principle is to promote sustainable trade through contractual obligations. To better understand ESG letters of credit, let's first look at a diagram of its novel clause structure. From this visual, we can see that an ESG letter of credit is composed of 2 main parts. The basic trade clauses are similar to those in a standard letter of credit, covering essential elements such as transaction amount, goods description, and payment terms, thereby ensuring the fundamental operation of the trade. What is the core of an ESG letter of credit? Let's keep going. The green special clauses are the core and defining feature of ESG letters of credit. They consist of 3 key components. 1. Completeness of certification documents. Companies must provide complete and valid ESG-related certifications, such as RSPO, Roundtable on Sustainable Palm Oil, or FSC, Forest Stewardship Council certifications, commonly used in the ASEAN region. Missing any required certification may prevent the letter of credit from being honored. Remember the issue we discussed earlier? The main reason the Vietnamese palm oil transaction was terminated was that the supplier had not obtained RSPO Sustainable Palm Oil certification. 2. Environmental data traceability chain. All environmental data provided by the company, such as carbon emissions or resource consumption, must form a complete traceability chain to ensure that the source is verifiable and the process is traceable. 3. Remediation time window. This is an important flexibility clause. If ESG non-compliance is detected, the company is granted a specific time period to make corrections. However, this remediation window is clearly time-bound. At the same time, we also need to understand the linkage between UCP 600 and ESG special clauses. As the universal framework for international letter of credit operations, UCP 600 provides the foundational structure for ESG letters of credit, while the ESG special clauses serve as supplementary and more detailed provisions. For example, the on its face principle in UCP 600 for document examination still applies in ESG letters of credit. However, the scope of review is expanded to include ESG-related certification documents and data. Next, let's analyze the application of ESG letters of credit through several concrete cases. Case 1. Bank of Beijing Green Finance Plus Project Core Clause. Companies are required to provide RSPO certification, which is a key certification for sustainable palm oil. Technical conflict. Initially, the company submitted paper-based reports which were prone to loss and difficult to verify. Resolution. The bank conducted a pre-audit of the company's certification documents, helping the company identify issues and make timely corrections, thereby avoiding a letter of credit rejection. Case 2. Loss rubber payment refusal. Core clause. Related to FSC coverage. FSC Forest Stewardship Council certification is critical for products like rubber that are linked to forest resources. Technical conflict. The bank discovered via satellite monitoring that the FSC coverage data provided by the company did not match reality. Resolution. Both parties negotiated a discounted settlement, with the company making a price concession, allowing the transaction to continue. The third case is the DBS Bank dispute. Core clause focused on the timeliness of carbon emissions, requiring that the company's carbon emission data be valid within the specified time frame. Technical conflict. The company submitted data using traditional recording methods, whereas the bank required blockchain-based proof to ensure data immutability. Resolution. Through arbitration and mediation, both parties reached a consensus on the method of data proof, and the transaction was successfully completed. From these three cases, we can see that different ESG letters of credit have different core clauses, face different technical conflicts, and require diverse resolution approaches. This means that, in practice, we must analyze each situation specifically. Beyond being able to complete common ASEAN certifications such as RSPO and FSC, we also need to anticipate risks such as discrepancies in transport carbon data. By applying our knowledge flexibly, we can handle various scenarios more effectively and meet these challenges successfully. Finally, let's summarize the three guiding principles of cross-border ESG. Quantify clauses as a prerequisite, unify dual-track data, and leave room for remedial mechanisms. 1. Quantify clauses as a prerequisite. ESG clauses should be as specific and measurable as possible, avoiding vague language. This is a prerequisite for ensuring smooth transactions. 2. Unify dual-track data. ESG data provided by companies, whether internal records or external monitoring data, must be consistent to ensure data authenticity and reliability. 3. Leave room for remedial mechanisms. When drafting ESG letters of credit, set reasonable remedial windows to provide companies with a certain period to correct errors, facilitating the completion of transactions. After class, please log in to the China-ASEAN Cross-Border Credit Service platform and other related websites to review relevant materials. Leave a message to tell me which types of enterprises have implemented ESG practices so far. I hope that after today's lesson, you can cultivate ESG compliance awareness and dispute resolution thinking in future international trade and economic work. You will be able to skillfully use ESG as a green path to promote the sustainable development of cross-border trade. That concludes today's lesson. See you in the next class.